For those of you that don't know, my husband and I live off-grid in Alaska in a 350 square foot shed we turned into our tiny home. We use an outhouse year-round, even during winter. We have a 210-gallon water tank with an RV pump inside that feeds the sink and the shower. With that being said, this is a sentiment we get a lot on our videos. Now, we didn't grow up in Alaska, and we definitely didn't grow up with land. We both were born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona. That's where we met, dated, and we got married in Flagstaff, Arizona. Neither one of us even really knew that this was a dream that we had until we got together. We were watching some YouTubers and we thought, man, that'd be really cool to have land. And that's when the journey began to find land, and we ended up in Alaska, which we were not expecting. But that is a story for another time. We had an awesome home and all of the expenses that come with having a home in Phoenix, but we were also really close to pretty much every store we could ever need. And we both still agree that living in Phoenix was harder than our life living off grid. Even this winter was really difficult. Trevor was working 72 hours a week, so I was home. I chopped all the wood and I cleared all the snow by myself. And I will still say that I would rather live here than ever live in a city ever again, because what you might consider hard, somebody else might not consider hard, and what I consider hard, you might think is like the easiest thing in the world. And while you might not see it as having something to show for it, everything that we have and that we have done to the property and it have been touched by our own hands and continue to develop it, that's what I have to show for it. And I have the joy, the freedom. We don't do the things we do to have other people see it and say, wow, look at them, they're doing so good. We get to have incredible experiences in Alaska that a lot of people wouldn't even get to do once in their life. And for that, we are forever thankful. We feel so beyond blessed to be able to live the life that we do out here in Alaska. And we do plan on building a bigger house eventually that's actually a house and not a shed on pure block, but even that house will be off the grid. And that's because we want to be as self-reliant as possible. We do intend to have a big garden, eventually raise animals, but we want to be in control of where the majority of our food comes from and how we live our life. Some people love being in the city and some people love being out in the woods, but it's just differing mindsets. And I don't mean this in a rude way at all. You asked your question incredibly respectfully, which is rare when somebody shares this sentiment. So I guess it comes down to just people want different things. You'll do whatever it takes to get those things, whether it's living in the city or having land. But I don't see our life as a struggle, and I honestly don't see it as hard either. Looking back, like I said, our life in Phoenix was hard. Even our friends and family have made comments about how happy we look living in Alaska, and my husband and I talk about that sometimes because we wonder how miserable we looked living in Phoenix, because we didn't think that we looked unhappy, but there's clearly a visible difference in who we were in Phoenix versus who we are now to the people that love us and know us. And we did move to Alaska on a whim, but we knew that it was the spot for us. We knew that there was no greater place for who we are as people than Alaska. But we are content in a way that I didn't know was possible. I truly want for nothing. And I love the experiences that we get just by living here. We just get to see such beautiful things. And my husband jokes that we're playing Minecraft in real life because we have all this land that we just get to develop to our heart's content. There's just nowhere I would rather be or any other way I would rather be living.